car boobs. They're at the bottom of the shot.
Boobs?
Okay.
The car has boobs.
If you can read, you know what we have just seen.
If you can't read, I don't know how you're using the internet.
Yeah, it does make it a bit difficult. I suppose there might be some sort of a braille thing or something going on, but we just saw OldBoy, and first of all, sorry about not being many cinema vlogs recently. There hasn't been much worth seeing in the cinema, and I spent most of my time doing videos, you know, because I want to get stuff out of the way before I go to MagFest and go over to Omegas for Christmas. So, hello, you'll see me again in less than a week, probably with The Hobbit.
You won't see me again. Perfect.
Yeah, because you're away when we're going to see The Hobbit. It's your own fault.
It's not my own fault. I need to go home to have steak.
Yeah, you could have been, but yeah, what we thought of OldBoy. Because before we go into this, has seen the Korean film version. Seen nothing to do with OldBoy. I don't think any of us have read the manga.
I have read bits of the manga, but not the whole thing.
Okay, now spoiler-free version. What do you think?
I really enjoyed it. It was better than I expected it to be. Normally, whenever Americans remake Korean films and stuff like that, it tends to be shit. I mean, if we look at American remakes of Eastern films, we've got The Ring. Nah, I'll not even go into a list. What did you think?
It was better than I expected, honestly. I haven't seen the original one in about 5, 6, possibly 7 or 8 years, and so I can't really recall what I think which would be better. From remembering back on the original OldBoy, I think that this was not as good, but when I last saw it I had seen a lot less films, so maybe if I watched it again I wouldn't be quite so impressed. But yeah, much better than I expected, so congratulations Spike Lee. You took an absolute classic Korean movie and remade it in English for an American audience, and you didn't fuck it up.
Sarah, no spoilers, what did you think?
I liked it, though I'm shaky.
Why are you shaky?
Because I don't do violence. Scares me.
One does not do violence. You can't have sex with violence.
Yes, you
Well,
can.
yeah, you can.
It's called BDSM, that is
No, you
sex
can't
with
have,
violence.
no, you can't have sex with violence. It's not a thing you can have sex with.
Well, I do know...
you tried to insert your penis into violence, literally.
No, I know a girl named Violence.
Well, I'm totally defeated. So, spoiler-free version gone. If you want to actually watch it, if you've never seen any of the OldBoy stuff, although, frankly, for cheaper than going to see it in the cinema, you could probably buy a DVD copy of the original, which is better, so maybe you should just do that, than watch it in the cinema, but...
And now there are going to be spoilers.
Yeah.
Deal with it. And I mean, deal with it. Yeah, I've been wanting to do that for a couple of weeks now.
Oh dear.
Spoilers!
Okay,
So there's this guy who's a big hunk of beef, and he's like imprisoned, and he doesn't know why, in like a shitty hotel room for 20 years, and then he gets out and beats the shit out of anybody because punching a wall taught him how to be an extremely good martial artist, and then he fucks his daughter, and then he cries and puts himself.
you ever
back
seen
in
the
prison.
Thai movie Chocolate?
I don't believe so.
Okay, it's this martial arts movie where the lead character is this 10-year-old girl who's got Asperger's syndrome, and this gives her the ability to watch Tony Jaa movies, and it turns her into a master martial artist, and then she kicks the shit out of like mafia guys.
That was actually a superpower in the Serial Heroes. One of the superpowers that somebody got was anything they see on TV they can replicate, like super cordon bleu cookery. She watches somebody do it, and she's like, "Oh, how the fuck did I do that?" She watches a Jackie Chan film, and she's like, "Oh, how the fuck did I do that?" Anyway.
No. Although the way this one was done, it was a little bit more realistic than Chocolate's, because it was like he was deliberately trying to copy things to try and get better at shit deliberately. Well, in Chocolate, it was just a case of, oh, I've watched this on TV, now I can do it. I will
also a
save
bit
my
more-
mother from gangsters.
It's also a bit more realistic than Chocolat.
Well, yeah, but the less said about, Irish Johnny Depp, the Romany, the better. Okay.
So Sarah, give us your version of events.
Well, there was like
The
a big...
events over there.
Yeah, there was like a big man with a big beer belly who drank vodka, and
Drink vodka like I drink water.
No, he drank vodka like you drink water. No, like you drink vodka. Like you drink... He drank vodka like you drank vodka.
He drank vodka. He bought a rubber duck and disappeared. For 20 years.
Yeah, he was a bit of a dick.
Yeah, he was. And he was a wee bit hot even though he had a big belly and boobs at the start.
Well, you love the belly and boobs.
Yeah. And then he turned into like a caveman, and then he became hot. And he spent like 10 years trying to peel the, what do you call that stuff? Grout? Off the tiles. Escape through the tiles.
I think it was cement around the cinder blocks.
Oh no, he didn't escape. Well, he kind of did escape through the thing, and then they puffed him to sleep with magic smoke, and then he woke up in a field and sniffed some grass, and then tried to find his kidnappers and blah blah blah. Bucked his daughter and put himself back into his wheat box with some diamonds.
That's her version of events. Yeah, okay, the main character in this one is called Joe, and his best friend, even though they've known for years and they went to the same like school together, which seems to be a bit of an exclusive academy, his best friend Joe seems to be from Boston, bizarrely, and I can say the villain in this is Charlton Copley from District 9 and Elysium, Michael Sheening it up. Okay, League of Extraordinary Gentlemen, Stuart Townsend played Dorian Gray. And it's as though
that up.
Well, because it says in that it's like the director said, "Okay, Stuart, play this part as though you're Johnny Depp playing the part," and he was like, and he was suddenly Johnny Depping it up. And this one, it's like Spike Lee's like, "Okay, I've just seen Twilight New Moon, Charlton. I know you originally wanted to play this as an American, but I got this great idea. Be Michael Sheen." And he's just like, "You mean like this? Hello, Joe, Michael Sheen."
I'll tell you why you did it. It's your fault! Blah, 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 blah.
I couldn't make you fuck your daughter because I fucked my father!
Yeah, that's the thing. They have a flashback. They have a flashback. There's this, the villain's father was incestuous with his daughter and his son. Well, it was heavily implied. It was never said that he buggered his son, but it was kind of...
That was not heavily implied. It was like, yeah.
It
We
was
just
like,
never saw it.
We just never saw it. But the father's walking around the house with a shotgun, killing off his family, and it's like, he walks into the daughter in bed. "Oh, hello, father! Oh, come up to me!" And it's like, nope. Oh! And then his wife's on the stairs. "Oh, hello, honey!" Nope. Boom. And his son's like, "Father, I'll get my dick out!" And then he's like, nope. Boom.
No one in this house hears shotguns and he's like, "Oh, father obviously likes to fire shotguns into the air randomly before having sex with people. So therefore, this is not worrying at all. No wonder they're really fucking rich. They have to repair their house from shotgun damage every time someone wants to get off."
No, I'm just wondering about how much sex this father is having if every time he walks into the room, the first reaction is for people to strip and get ready.
And if he thinks it's a good idea to go to his daughter's school and have sex with her in the middle of the garden.
At night?
Well, it would have been worse during the day, because...
It was parents' evening. He had a boner and he had to get off.
Most of the setup is very similar to the original OldBoy.
Yeah.
And although it's 20 years instead of 15, although it's been many years since I saw it, so if I get details wrong, fuck you, I'm sorry. I didn't have time to rewatch it before we watched this.
The motel was very similar.
Yeah. And most of it's very, very similar and set up very, very similar. But then every bit with Charlton Copley is as though the film suddenly become... It's taken 10%... If there was some sort of a dial to allow you to have like 20% extra operaticness, it's like they just took that and then they just keep building it and building and building until the end when all the lights and all, and there's music going, there's sound effects and there's screaming and Charlton Copley's looking like he's just orgasms forever. And it's just like... It's just building a little bit at a time with him.
Did Nightwish buy a really, really cheap knockoff version of that dial?
Possibly.
They just turn up the operaticness a bit.
I'm just thinking not just in a musical way, in the way it's visualized as well. Everything became much more accentuated and louder in visual style as well, and more ridiculous.
I like the torture scene.
The
Samuel L. Jackson. I like that. That wasn't in the original. It was done differently.
Yeah, and I believe that character got killed in the original.
Yeah.
Although again,
I
many
think so.
years.
I honestly couldn't tell you. I think he did, but That was cool. I like that he drew the lines.
Although, okay, with Charlotte Copley being so flaming, and Samuel L. Jackson spending...
Looking like your guy out of The Fifth Element.
Yeah, and looking really fabulous, and then in one scene he appears to be wearing a dress. So, this film seems to make heavy use of the trope that Fruity is evil. That basically, if you're a guy and you're a tall femme, you're obviously evil. And this film makes heavy use of that. Which is a little bit troubling.
I think it's more, you know, if you are super rich and evil, why the fuck not? Who's going to tell you no?
It's not just him, it's Samuel L. Jackson. It's just like...
Yeah, he's super rich and evil.
Not as much as the other guy. He goes...
Well, who the fuck's going to tell him no?
I don't know. But it's just, it seems in Hollywood, it gets connected quite a lot with,
Yeah.
with just negativity.
It's like the thing that it used to be that albino characters were all evil.
Yeah, and there's... that happens occasionally, and it's not very nice. But the, okay, when I think of Old Boy, I think of four big things. One, the octopus. Two, the hammer scene. Three, Vivaldi. And four, the twist. This one had it had Josh Brolin looking at an octopus, which was like, it's like Spike Lee going, "Hey audience, I remember the octopus too. We're not gonna see him eat it."
I think that you couldn't actually film that with a live octopus in Hollywood.
Yeah, they could have filmed it in Korea. I mean, it was set in an Asian restaurant of some time. I'm pretty sure you could make a restaurant in Korea look like a Chinese restaurant. It wouldn't be that difficult, I'm thinking. But they were obviously not going to put that in there. But it's just like...
So he saw an octopus in the tank. There was no Vivaldi. There was instead a school song, which Shazam bizarrely could understand, which is weird because Shazam doesn't know all of Queen yet. But that's just me. Oh, also he had a magic iPhone 5 that never ran out of battery.
And the hammer scene, okay, from what I've read, the director's cut of this version, this thing was like 3 hours long, and apparently they cut major parts of violence out, so I'm thinking there was a more traditional hammer scene in the original cut, because this one it's like, oh hey, we're in the corridor and we're going to have a fight with the guy, and then hey, suddenly we're in like this car park thing, so I'm guessing we missed a full-on corridor fight, because in the original, the hammer scene is a very thin corridor where two guys can cram beside each other, side by side, and they have a massive fight, 40 guys versus one guy with the hammer, and it's done side on, so it looks like an old early 90s video game like Streets of Rage, and it's really really cool. It's like that, and it was done with Vivaldi music, and it was really really great.
It was. It's one of the most iconic scenes in recent filming.
And in this version, they tried to do something similar with the car park scene, but they filmed it like it was the 2D thing again. But the corridor scene really worked like that because we knew it was a very thin corridor. And this one, he's obviously got much more space, and yet everyone still insists on attacking one at a time.
It's a Assassin's Creed syndrome.
From the start, from the behind or the front, and no one's coming at an angle.
Right, sorry, you had something to say about that scene.
I didn't like the fight, or the hammer scene, fight scene, whatever. I just thought it looked really, really stupid. Like, he was doing a great job with the hammer, but all them other boys were just, like, jumping about for the crack. Grabbing planks of wood. Well, it looked like wood from, I don't know where, out of their back pocket. They were just like, woohoo! With a plank of wood. Like,
yeah,
it was just very stupid and amateur looking.
It's like they were trying. The original one was done in one take. That's why they did it in one take, and it was one of the reasons it was so good looking. While this one, it's like they didn't capture it, so therefore all of the carefully orchestrated shit from the original one doesn't. It looks naff. And it got better with time. The first bit, which was all one shot, didn't look good. The second part looked a bit better, but
They laughed out loud at the two guys who were like, "Whoa, we're gonna kill you," but they were like sprinting backwards away from it.
Yeah.
and then I think I will be interested to see if there's a fight inside the lift as well in the director's cut. I'm really going to want to see this I want to see the uncut.
Yeah.
Say something.
Hello. One of my favourite wee bits was, two, I just pure giggled. Your man in the picture in the room, it's like, what the fuck? And him, imagine him being on the bed with the popcorn, that was hilarious. And then the mouse, that was so cute, I nearly cried, the mouse and the wee baby, and then he got the mouse and wee babies for dinner.
Yeah, he coaxed a mouse out of a mouse hole, and had it as a pet, living in a Frosty's box with shredded toilet paper, and he was like, "You're my only friend, I love you, please don't ever leave me. Oh, you've had babies, I will protect your babies." Then, where are you? Where are you? Dinner comes in.
I think what happened there most likely was the gas. If the gas is calibrated to knock out a human being, it probably killed all the mice. And they probably didn't deliberately kill them, but they're like, okay, they're dead, let's fuck with them.
Yeah. Mice was so cute.
You focus on the weirdest things.
Yeah, well, how could you not focus on that picture? Like, it was just there, like, looking at them all day.
It was a picture of a bellhop, a very stereotypic, like...
1930s, 1940s.
Yeah, like a gollywog depiction of a black bellhop. And it's like...
Have you ever seen a gollywog?
I'm comparing it, and yes, I have seen a gollywog.
What is a gollywog?
A gollywog...
Do you remember-
Gollywog is not a human being. He's just a black guy with a smile in a 1940s uniform.
It was incredibly racist looking to my sensitive
A
eyes.
gollywog is a type of doll from the probably 1880s or something like that.
I know,
it's
it was right through to the 50s, dear.
Oh no, that's when it started, and it is based on a stereotypical version of a black person,
Oh, okay.
and it is pretty damn racist. But gollywogs are not actually human beings. So it's
Okay, well, it was a picture of a black man in a bellhop uniform with a big smile on his face, obviously painted on lips, and like, ah! And it's like, I'm like, no, that's racist.
Well, I can see it as a racist depiction of a servile black person. I agree with you there. It just doesn't look like a gollywog. Gollywogs have massive afros, and their eyes are half the size of the size
No, they
of their
don't.
head.
They have floating dreadlocks made of different coloured wool.
I didn't know they were called bellhops. I just called them luggage boys
They're bellboys.
or luggage boys.
Bellboys in the
Or
UK,
door
bellhops in
boys.
the US.
There was plenty of things I wanted to talk about. Plenty of things, but I'm forgetting it because mind is broken.
He was a beefcake. At the end, whenever he's begging the villain to kill him, it's like, "Oh, you're so cute. You're like a man mountain begging to be killed." Oh.
It was partway through this I realised who Josh Brolin reminded me of when he was in his full-on revenge mode. He was Marv from Sin City,
I can see that.
like an actual human version of Marv from Sin City. If they tried to make Sin City into a regular-looking film, that would have been perfect.
His head just looked like a side of beef, though.
It's like
Joe's?
Yeah.
I say, poor Joe. He must have had a really rough life because Josh Brolin in like the mid '80s was in the Goonies, where he played one of the. I think it was in the Goonies. I think he played the elder brother, and just imagine that was like 1984 or so. So less than 10 years later, he looked like he did in this. He must have had a rough end of the '80s because he aged like 30 years, and then he didn't age at all when he's in that room. Obviously, the secret is those rooms keep you young.
No, it's dumplings. The secret is dumplings.
Oh dear, don't forget about the dumplings.
That was a plot point in both. He was like, "Aha, the Chinese restaurant I've been eating is something dragon," because he managed to get a wee torn off bit of receipt in one of his foods. I was like, "Something dragon. I will search every Chinese restaurant in Chinatown that has the word dragon in the title." Well, good luck with that.
What I want to know is why he decided to go to the restaurants when not all takeaways have restaurant sections, and he knew that they were takeaway things, when he could have like gone takeaway stuff, because the restaurant food's going to taste different from takeaway food because it's been longer. There's little differences, and
Oh, definitely.
if he got the takeaway food, then he could try that, and it would most likely taste more like it, and he could check to see the box if it was identical.
It's go ahead.
You go.
It's like the Gaslight in Derry.
The Mexican place?
No, the Gaslight. The restaurant was delicious and the takeaway was shit.
Oh.
They're both closed now.
Yeah. What were you going to say?
I've never tried dumplings, and after that, I don't want to try dumplings.
Well, those are they looked like gyoza,
They looked rotten.
otherwise known as pot stickers, and I had them when I was over in Florida, and I quite liked them. Wouldn't want to have them every single day for 20 years, though.
And Frosties. Oh my god, Frosties are awful. Although I wouldn't mind a bottle of vodka with breakfast, lunch and dinner.
Well, okay, one of the things about the timing, they said, okay, he's like, oh, I spent several years opening up the bathroom, and then he kicks the thing in, and then there's gas, and he can escape, and then there's gas, and then suddenly wakes up in the suitcase. So I was assuming they were like, hold him there until he manages to escape, then you let him go. Because that'll give him something, it's like, he really wants out then, and then that's nicer for torturing. It just took him 20 years to get to that point. But then, of course, they're like, oh yeah, I told you to hold her there for 20 years. It's just a coincidence that it's the exact same day you almost escaped. Ah, Michael Sheen!
You see, what I would do if I had somebody in a cell like that, I would monitor them, and if I noticed them trying to escape, I would build another cell that they would be escaping into, and then just stand in that cell and wait for them to get through the hole in the wall and be like, well done! Here's your new cell.
I honestly thought they were going back in to patch up the wall. So I thought they were going to do.
I think that's what they did in the original. He managed to punch like a small crack in the external wall, and he got his hand out there at night, and it was raining, and he felt the rain in his hand, and then the gas came, and he was stuck in there again. I think that's what happened there. I remember it being much sadder.
I remember that scene. Also, I really liked his portrayal of whenever he's been locked up for 20 years, and he wakes up wearing a... It should have been an expensive suit. It wasn't. It was a shit suit. And Italian cut, I mean, fuck's sake. What is this, the 1990s? But anyway, he wakes up in a suit in a box with a pouch full of money containing sunglasses and a phone. And it's an iPhone 5, and he's just like, the fuck is this? Huh?
I've been watching Xena all these years. I don't know anything.
That was brilliant.
I've been wanking to people. I like how they got a semen as well for the rape evidence. It's like, if we leave him in a room long enough with porn, he will wank.
Well, it wasn't even porn.
It was the exercise channel.
It's... I don't know, the in the original, I think that it was like one cell, and the guy had set this entire thing up to make it happen. The villain had set this all up as way to fuck over him. I don't think it was like one of many cells, because it makes you wonder, what the fuck did the other people do? What the fuck is this really a good way to make a business? It's like, we've got a private prison here that no one knows about, where they have rich people are imprisoned.
And we're gonna bring Steven Seagal there and tell him that Arnold Schwarzenegger's not the warden.
I was just thinking of that one.
I don't see that really lasting very long.
Well, Samuel L. Jackson said it's been there long before his time, motherfucker, and it'll be there long after I'm gone.
So there is such a thing then?
No, not Samuel L. Jackson's character said that.
No, but do you think there is such a thing as
Yeah, it's called Guantanamo Bay.
Not in the middle of an American city. Not something that's not known by government.
Most of the off-the-grid prisons are run by government.
Yeah, they wouldn't have like an entirely private thing like that run by criminals. If depending on how long they're supposed to be held there for, I mean, like, you're going to release them after 5 years, and it's like, oh, the person they've released after 5 years, are they not going to get some sort of revenge on who did that to them? If you want to get rid of someone for that period of time and you're rich, there's such a thing as a bullet to the head and, cement shoes. If you really want to get rid of them, you don't...
Cement shoes are inefficient.
It's much cheaper, though, than lock them up for 20 years.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is, if you give them cement shoes and you put them in a river, what's going to happen is that
I was suggesting the ocean.
Still, their arms and extremities are going to bloat, rot off, and float up. What you do is you put them in a bathtub and fill that with cement, then you sink that. It's a slightly more expensive way to do it, but the cement will stay down there forever. There's not going to be body parts floating back up, leading back to you at any point.
Your moment of criminality is brought to you by the letter bathtub.
It's not a letter.
It is now. Fully. Yeah, it seems very impractical. Oh, I had this idea. Because, they'd set this up to make you think that the famous twist wasn't going to happen, because he was looking for his daughter. He's like, where's my daughter? So,
where's my daughter? You're about the same age as my daughter. Oh, fuck yes. Oh, all over the place.
So I had this idea.
She had really nice boobs.
Beautiful boobs.
To make the main villain, make it even harder for them to work out what the fuck had been going on with the main villain. What they should have done was had it that the girl who had sex with her dad was actually Charlotte Copley. Because then it would have been like, not only am I going to do all this and you ruined my life because everyone called me a whore, but I'm going to have a sex change and grow a beard just to make it harder for you to work out who the fuck I am. I don't want to do this. I just want to mess with you.
It was a shitty beard.
It was just like, oh, Charlotte was very amusing.
No, the better twist ending would have been for him just to wake up from the Duncan stupor and attend his child's 3rd birthday. Like, whoa, fuck, I'm crazy.
I'm going to write a graphic novel about this. Maybe Spike Lee will make it into a movie. After a better Korean version was made. Yeah, not enough Vivaldi either.
Yeah, none at all, really.
Mm.
At least that I picked up on.
Hey?
Vivaldi, he's a composer.
Classical music was used in the last one.
Cello?
Yeah. Well, violin. It was used in action scenes and stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, I was too busy hiding.
No, and not in this one, the Korean version.
Oh, okay.
Why don't you explain your reaction to the violent scenes?
No.
Come on, that's why you're here.
Well, I'm sure your hand was like numb. My hand was numb at one stage. I was like, we were holding hands, and then I was like, no, let go. I can't feel my hand anymore. And I came out there, and I calmed down now, but I was as tense as anything. I was quite sore in my muscles.
See what you should have done? You should have grabbed her hand and gone like that. And then you could have made use of the fact that her hand was vibrating.
Well, the funniest part, just sitting beside Sarah, was whenever the dad was reloading his shotgun. She's like, okay, oh, he shot somebody. Oh, he shot somebody else. He's walking downstairs and reloading it.
No, I thought he was going to shoot himself there, and I don't do well with the whole gun shooting yourself crack.
Well, neither do I. But...
Yeah, that's such crack.
I don't... Oh,
Well, his head cracked.
shut up.
Although, guys on Twitter, you need to bother this. I really, really, really want to see a little video where either Owen Citizen or Film Brain cosplay as Charlotte Copley in this. That would be so fucking funny. I don't know who would play Josh Brolin, though.
I've never seen a villain smile so much while being punched by a beefcake.
I swear that villain is my housemate.
Oh my god.
He is a spitting image and has the same mannerisms as the fella I live with.
Absolutely, there's this fellow that she lives with, and it's just like... what was the point where we both looked at each other and said it?
It was whenever he was in the bar and with his hands he was like, oh yeah, or whatever.
Oh, Joe, do sit down and have a seat. Oh.
Remember, according to Hollywood, fruity is evil.
What about opal fruits? Shit, Starburst.
Oh, you ruined your joke. Cry. Cry.
I will take you on a 127-mile bar.
Huh?
Snickers.
It's a very large bar.
It's a Snickers.
It's a record-breaking
Am I?
Snickers, I'd imagine.
Not 127 miles. How long's a marathon?
26 miles.
That's it, I'll take you on a 26-mile chocolate bar.
They haven't been called marathon over here for a long time.
I know.
Snickers used to be called marathons in the Republic of Ireland.
I have drank Coke too. I'm allowed to call them marathons.
I am too confused for life right now.
Snickers used to be called marathons.
Yeah, I
I'm
get
trying
that.
to make a pun.
They got a bunch of violence happening with...
No, it was cellos.
They got a bunch of violence happening with, and it's all being done by this distinctive-looking white guy with short hair and a black suit. And he never changes his fucking clothes. It's like... He walks over and he kills a bunch of teenagers in front of a bunch of witnesses, and then 2 streets over, he comes across this sort of nurse person. What did they not? Did this not appear in the news? Did people not go, "Hey, did you see a guy with wearing a black suit and being like really annoyed and stuff?" And goes, "Oh yes, I did. Very short fucking movie."
Random mafia-looking guy breaks the necks of 4 footballers.
Yeah, it's like, did no one pay attention to this? You know, he wasn't very... He met the nurse not very far from where he did that crime. I'm pretty sure the police would have said, "Did you see anyone going in there?" And it's like... Besides, and all I can think is that, he was pale, disheveled, he was looking very, very worried, he was looking very, very world-weary, and he was wearing a black suit. I can only imagine they thought someone dug up the corpse of Johnny Cash and they thought he was putting a crime spree.
Also, just on a point about the nurse, he went to, it's basically a free addiction clinic. There's loads of them about in America now because America doesn't know how to do healthcare, so they have to set up charity clinics. But anyway, it was a charity clinic, and it was all these bums and hobos and random blokes and addicts are like queuing up to be like, we need help, we need help, we need help. And he's like walking past in his suit, and she's like, if you ever need help, come to me. And it's like, he looks like some sort of gym manager. Just back away.
Yeah, if he looked more like the guy in the Korean version who came out there with his crazy mad hair, then maybe that would have been better. Like the long shaggy hair? That's what he had in the Korean one the entire time.
Yeah.
And it wasn't like full-on long hair caveman look, it was a case of hair, he hadn't reached enough length to weigh itself down, so it was like, about to here.
It was like half fro.
Yeah.
Oh dear. I do have to say, I think he coped relatively well in the outside world after being confined in a room for 20 years.
Yeah, you
That
work
was
with the
just like-
rehabilitation prisoners,
Yeah.
don't you?
So, yay, let's be in a room for 20 years, jump out of a box, oh, hello world.
Hello, grass!
Yeah, it's just like, I'm back to normal, I don't need any help. I'll stick on a pair of sunglasses, that'll help me with the sunlight.
He was powered by rage.
But, no.
But anyway, we also saw trailers for 12 Years a Slave, which is basically Django Unchained.
But
If Django
backwards.
Unchained was based on a real thing and was sensible.
Looks good.
Or serious, sorry.
It's the sort of film I like.
What else did we see trailer for?
Shade.
Shade.
Right. So did we see anything else? Because nothing untoward happened in that section. Did we see anything else apart from an advert for 12 Years a Slave?
There was a prancing pony.
This is true. It was like
For 3
moonwalking.
mobile. It was so cute and I want one. Please buy me one.
I honestly can't remember any of the other trailers, though.
Was there any others?
There were adverts, but I don't recall any others.
There was the Belfast Golden Mile thing. You see, okay, we get this Belfast Golden Mile thing before every single cinema, and it's a trailer for, an advert for this thing in Belfast. It's like, what was it, like the hotel or whatever? Or
No,
the bar?
it's a bar, and I've been to that bar, and it's shit.
Okay, well, it's this big thing, and it's a bunch of photographs and people messing around saying, we came all the way to Belfast to have fun, and we're at this bar, da-da-da-da-da, which is fine, but then it's like, they're taking a bunch of photos, and there's always 6 of them, so they dragged along a 7th person to take the photos, every single one, and then obviously this Steadicam shot is supposed to be someone else's, like, holding video camera footage, so they have a 7th person there to work as a semi-professional camera operator, just for their fucking trip to Belfast. With the money you could have spent on, on hiring this camera person for the weekend, you could have bought yourselves all tickets to, like, Paris or something. This is a self-defeating advertisement.
Come to Belfast, there's beer. We're going to Spain, there's beer there too.
Yeah, but they won't have Belfast Golden Mile, which is more like a Belfast Golden cul-de-sac. And it's not really golden, it's more like covered in piss.
The Belfast Golden Mile, to be honest, if you wanted to do a pub crawl in Belfast, it's a good place to do it. There are a lot of very shit pubs very nearby each other.
It's still covered in piss.
Well, it's Belfast, please. I was born there.
That's
I
your
was born there.
That's your problem.
No, I'm making a point of how shit it is. It's so shit that I was born there.
It's still your problem.
It's everybody's problem.
I was born in Derry.
Yo.
What are you talking about? Where were you born?
Tyrone.
Exactly.
Dungannon. Shut up. Don't say Tyrone.
Well, at least people who don't live in Northern Ireland have heard of Belfast and Derry.
Look up County Tyrone on Google. It's better than any of these
Tyrone
counties.
Dungannon sounds like, I don't know, this sort of Irish African-American rapper.
County Tyrone.
He's like mixed race. He's got like a white Irish father and like a African-American mother, and he grew up in New York, and it's sort of like a cross between 50 Cent and the guys who did Jump Around.
It's Tyrone Dungannon.
Tyrone.
You know, it's a popular name.
County Tyrone. It's beautiful. Shut up. Both of yous.
It's been a rather interesting question. Why did Tyrone, the name, get connected with sort of African Americans when it's actually a location in Ireland? It's just a little bit random. It's a bit like, I don't know, Berlin becoming an Asian American name. It's just odd. nothing wrong with it. It's just weird.
It's like that news story a while ago about the girl whose name was spelled L-E-A. That name is pronounced Lidasha.
What?
L-E-A. Lidasha.
Very good.
Apparently that's a very stereotypical African American name.
It's a very clever way of being stupid.
Unless Tyrone means something else that we don't know.
I don't know.
Spells for something.
Old Boy was better than we expected.
Yeah, if you want to see something violent, go and watch it.
And
or
if
even
you
better,
don't-
if you want to see something more violent, go and watch the original.
Mm.
And
Yeah,
if
that's
you don't
better.
like violence, don't go.
Because there's only cellos.
And I hope to see the director's cut at some point.
Oh, that was something that I missed out on. They had the same piano in 3 different locations. Well, 2 different locations. One of them was the studio. I could tell because there was a little scratch on one of the wheels, and it was a very specific kind of Yamaha Baby Grand. So I thought they were building up to a twist, because I noticed that it was the same piano in the opera studio whenever she was doing her cello performance, and in the teacher's house. So I thought she was involved. No? Nobody else.
I didn't even notice the piano.
The teacher thing probably would have... Maybe that's in the director's cut.
Maybe it's in the director's cunt.
Imagine the teacher
I'm
was the
pretty
sister.
sure Spike Lee has nothing he would identify as a cunt.
No, the teacher couldn't have been the sister. Never mind.
What?
I said...
She was the headmaster when
yeah,
they were
I
on
know, but I was like, imagine like the twist would have been that the teacher was the sister, and then I was like, no, she was the headmaster, so she couldn't have been the sister.
What a bizarre way to react to getting shotgunned in the chest by your incestful, abusive, sexually assaulting father. You have invented a time machine and become headmaster while you're a student and getting abused.
Shut
and
up.
then you ignore it.
Also, those kids in that school were way too harmful.
Yeah, that was like the one scene. It was like, wow, a complete amateur is directing this one scene. Nice of Spike Lee to let his 2-year-old child direct it. Wonderful.
What is this, a scene from Carrie? It's like, whore, 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 whore,
They're all
whore.
gonna laugh at you. They're all gonna laugh at you.
You had sex with somebody.
They're all gonna laugh at you.
Do you know what I really liked? This is really stupid, but
We
Do you know-
shout oral abuse, and you're just like, do you know what I really like?
no, I just remembered whenever he was in the room and they kept showing the news, so it kept you up to date with the year. I know that's really, really stupid, but I just thought that was cool.
You like that montage?
What montage?
I left my chocolate bar in the cinema.
You're a silly head.
I know, they were all like, for 5p more, you can get one of these chocolate bars. I was like, okay. And I was like, God damn it.
She
I wanted
just
to
gave
try
me
it.
it. I thought I got it for free. She charged me 5p for something I didn't want.
I never got it.
I nearly lost your bubblegum nipple. But I found it again, and I ate it.
I also liked whenever Joe and his daughter he booked was sort of standing around the school watching the past. I liked it.
I want to know how she was watching the past, because
When she wasn't
she
there.
can't have that flashback. It's like, oh, wait, she was there. She was a sperm in one of his nuts.
True that.
Well, maybe Joe was just very, very qualified in the art of storytelling, but the actor couldn't pull it
Oh,
off.
no, it's Assassin's Creed. Genetic memories. She's experiencing her father's genetic memories.
Don't bring up the shittiest part of Assassin's Creed.
It is the shittiest part of Assassin's Creed.
No, the shittiest part of Assassin's Creed is, there are 100 million men around me. Don't worry, they can only attack one at a time. Seriously, Assassin's Creed 1, get as many men around as you can and just counter stab. It's hypnotic.
Assassin's Creed 1 was terrible.
It was.
2 onwards have been good.
2 was good, 3 was alright. Brotherhood and all that other shit was shite.
I am fine with all of them. 4 is fucking addictive when you destroy ships and take over and all.
Yeah.
Anyway, finish it.
Thank you for watching. Goodbye.